You are now about to witness the strength of street knowledge.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sitting here with most of the cast of Straight Outta Compton. You got Corey, you got Jason, you got Ice Cube, O'Shea Jackson Jr., and F. Gary Gray. You guys put together a gripping piece of work, brothers.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. Appreciate that.
And like as a hip hop junkie, somebody who like followed the source material in a time before the internet, where all you could do is look at Yo magazine, Word Up, Rap Masters.
Right.
You guys really hit on every important footnote throughout the story, man. Like, was there anything that you guys left off of the table, or just didn't have enough time to get through, or made its way on the cutting room floor?
I mean, it's, you're trying to put over 10 years into 2 hours, a 2-hour movie. So, there's things that you just couldn't get in, but trust me, we got all the juicy stuff in there. You know what I mean? All the stuff that really tells the story. There's other, sidebars and side shows to this thing, and people are going to research everything that's out there on us to see all those little tidbits. And we knew we wasn't shooting a documentary, so we knew we just had to make sure the audience followed the brotherhood.
No doubt.
You know what I mean? No matter what.
Yeah, now, Jason Mitchell, you had a very tough job,
Yes, sir.
Because your source material wasn't around.
Right.
For you to really study up and do it. I mean, I guess you look at old interviews. How did you, what did you do to channel Eazy-E's energy and really bring that to life on screen, which you did a great job of doing?
Right. Well, me and his life run so parallel, So what I really wanted to do was take what I already know and what I was being told by so many people, because I had to go through weight training to gain weight. I had to go through mechanics training. I had to, learn how to talk like I was from California. I had to do all these things that were mechanical and take them and match them with what I already had going on in my life, what I felt like was parallel to Eazy. Because at the end of the day, I still have to take direction from my director. I still have to make my producers happy, and I still have to make the legacy live at the same time. So I had to be able to put on like an Eazy cloak and come to work and be able to take direction as Eazy-E. And I think that it brought the performance to a whole nother level, because Eazy-E was taking directions on set. It wasn't Jason Mitchell. I had fully embodied that, so by the time I could take direction, I can just, go into it.
Did you grow the curl?
I did not grow the curl, but I almost regret that.
Y'all might get an award for makeup and all that good stuff, because that curl looks real legit.
You're not supposed to say that. You're supposed to say,
Don't quote me.
All right. Now passing it off to O'Shea, like his source material wasn't there. A lot of it, you grew up with your source material all your life,
20 plus years of studying.
And to people who have no idea how the business works, they would just probably assume that the role was just put in your lap. You actually had to work and go through mad casting calls to get it, right?
I had to work for years to get this role. 2 years to get this role. Callbacks, auditions, getting different acting coaches, going every week to the classes until the coach don't know what to tell me no more, until I got to get another one, and they get their techniques from them. And then even then, it all led to a screen test where we working on the chemistry, see who's going to be in the group, and there's 2 other cubes there, so it was never, the pressure was always on from the studio, from myself, because this is my family's legacy. And so, it was always that fourth quarter mentality, like, I gotta get this done. So by them taking me through the ringer, by Gary taking me through the ringer, and my father wanted me to go through that work, it gave me the confidence I needed to give a pretty good performance, if I could say that.
Yo, you sold it. Like, and then Corey Hawkins, who plays Dr. Dre, the voice in which you embodied, you use to embody Dr. Dre, man, was hella believable, man. Like, so you worked with him pretty closely.
Yeah, from day one. I mean, we
like he said, like they said, it was a long process, you know, to get it, you know, to get it all together. But I remember initially not wanting to even go in for it, man. And like now that I think back on it, I'm like, you're crazy. But like initially I was nervous, man. I didn't want to be the one to mess up their legacy, you know what I mean? And so, you know, one thing led to another. I ended up Skyping with Gary, and then flying out here for the studio test, linking up with these guys, my brothers, and then the chemistry was just there. So we just hit it off, and then Dre, we went out to dinner. He pulls out his iPhone at the end of the dinner, showing everybody the audition tape and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So he was proud. You know what I mean? He said, "You the guy for the job." And at that point, I had to step up and take ownership of it. And for me, Dre is a very he's a quiet guy. You know what I mean? It was a lot of pulling back and a lot of stillness and a lot of nuance to kind of play with. And we had to do, like you said, a month of like training, man, learning how to DJ, learning how to produce, learning what all those knobs mean. Like every single detail went into to creating these roles. And like they said, I think we did a hell of a job.
Right.
And I definitely think the streets was speaking on that real heavy yesterday. Just looking at the social media response, like everybody really loved and gravitated towards the movie, man. Like y'all really brought it to life. And F. Gary Gray, you've been feeding this culture for years. Like anytime your name is attached to a film project, people show up, man. And it's dope to see you and Q working together again. Like, I mean, y'all legacy go all the way back to Friday, man. Is it like y'all picked up where y'all left off?
And then some. It's crazy. You talk about chemistry, man. Everything that we've done since the early '90s have, I guess, it's been classic, man. You know, we think a lot alike, and we also challenge each other, man. And this is the best thing we put together, man. And it's an honor to be able to come and tell his story after having been involved with Q. Right after he leaves NWA and starts his solo career, and to kind of work with Dre on Friday and these music videos and Tupac and things like that, and it just comes all full circle. So all the films in between Friday to now kind of prepped me for this one, and man, I feel great about it.
And like I said, so many points hit, and it's like so many weird stuff too. Like, you know, like O'Shea, you actually were playing your father with yourself as a child in the background with your mother, and like, you know, with it's a Mark McFly moment.
Right. Parallel universe, nosebleed, cats chasing dogs. Yeah, that's crazy.
Right.
And then also like just the motion, man. Like, you know, like it's really sometimes hard to like really capture certain emotions and feelings. Like that scene when your brother had passed. Right. What did you tap into to channel that energy?
It's crazy, man. We shot that scene early, actually, in shooting and in the shooting schedule. And I just remember, you know, up to that point, just being worried about that scene. Like I was just like, how are we gonna, you know? And me and Dre, we talked a lot about his life and about his, you know. But when it came to his brother, you know, that's a sensitive, you know, subject, obviously. You know what I mean? But when it came to the day, I just remember having all the support, man. Dre came up to set, his family came up to set.
But he left after take number 2 because you killed it. Like you brought him back to that moment, and you did such a good job. Dre was like, "This is getting almost too real." And your training, man, I found that in directing you, and some of those harder scenes, it seems like you just did them effortlessly, man. And I think, you know, I don't know if it's because of your training or not, but your background is amazing, man. I loved working with you in those moments because I knew you could get there on the turn of a dime.
Man, I appreciate that, G. And but really though, I think what helped, especially in that scene, is just having each other. Because that's the first moment where you really see, you know, you see them hanging out, you see them, you know, kicking it, but seeing them on the road together in this moment, you know what I mean, sharing that moment. We
became a band of brothers that day.
In the history of NWA, you've never seen them share a tender moment. Exactly. And that really, I swear, that peeled a layer back so tough that you have never seen. Like, I mean, because like, you know, in black culture, especially hip hop culture, it's so taboo to show each other love, be vulnerable, and for y'all to pull that off, man, it was like one of the most pivotal scenes of the movie. And then Jason, when you was on your deathbed. You know, because like Eazy-E's passing was something, you know, like once again, the internet was still just really getting ready to pop, you know, around that time. So a lot of people didn't, like, Eazy-E's sick, Eazy-E's dead. That's how the world got it.
Right.
I mean, like, to see that unfold, man, like, how did you like what did you tap into in here to really sell it?
I mean, again, like Corey was just saying, you know, we banded together as a band of brothers, but it was funny because they called it the Easy Week, you know? And it was the hardest week, I felt like, to me, but it was the week before last of shooting. And they have so many things, being from the hood, being, you know, like you said, this culture that doesn't show each other that much love. You really don't want to peel it back yourself and show all the things that you have to cry about also, you know? And I just remember me and Gary having this talk, and he was like, look, man, we banking on this thing. You know, we banking on it to be as good as your audition was. So you think you're going to tell me, you know, what you're going to tap into? And I was like, I was kind of leery about it, and I didn't want to let go, and I don't know exactly what it was. I can't say exactly the thought, but I know when I chose to let go, I just let go. And it was therapy after that. You know, it was like so quiet on set that day, I'll never forget. But I felt so protected to be able to let myself go. You know, it's not like I felt vulnerable and I was like, you know, I kind of don't want to do this in front of people. You know, it was a huge respect thing. And going from that moment as a band of brothers to that moment when I was dying on my deathbed, for my brothers to look at me like, these are my brothers now. You know, we are NWA, you know, that friendship that we had transferred onto the screen, and to see their faces seeing me like that, you know, they like, wow. You know, those were very, very real moments.
When these two did those scenes, you know, you felt the blanket on set. You know, we got great chemistry, we always laughing, we always joking, but when it was time for those scenes, the Tyree scene, the hospital scene, you felt the thickness in the air, and it really became all right, man, no laughing. They need you. You know, you gotta feed them, gotta feed them.
Right.
And like, you know, that's that brotherhood.
We can only give that credit to F. Gary Gray, though. Yeah. You know, because he timed that. You know, like thinking from the chemistry read, you know, to us going through all these things together, from having to learn how to DJ. I remember when he got that triple threat right. Like it felt so good.
That was you doing that for real, for real?
Yeah. I mean, I had to learn all of it.
It felt good for all of us. You know, so to get all the way to these moments where, you know, you can, you know, cut that blanket he was talking about with a knife. You know, you got to give that credit to him because he set it up chronologically perfect.
Yeah, it was one of those things where it was important to serve the theme of the movie. And the theme of the movie was brotherhood. We wanted to go beyond the music. We wanted to go beyond the facts that you can get on Google. And like you said, in hip hop culture, you don't see those vulnerable moments a lot. And it's just really, really simple, man. It's important to serve the theme of the movie, which was brotherhood, which is the other side of the hardcore stuff that you would expect from NWA. And that's what gives the movie dimension and depth and the gravitas that it needs to be a real story and not just a hip-hop story or a rap story or a biopic. These guys breathe life into these human beings, and that's what makes the movie, I think, live on a whole nother level.
Now, Q, did you ever imagine in a million years that something you wrote in 1980-something would still be as relevant as it is now? I think F the Police is more important now than it was when it came out. Do you think police relations with people were worse then or worse now?
It's been constantly the same. You know, I saw it before us. You know, it was the riots in '65 came before me. So, you know, it's been an issue with law enforcement, you know, every day I've been alive, you know what I mean? And probably every day my father been alive, you know what I mean? Every day my grandfather been alive. So it's like, this is a constant. So, you know, it's not more relevant now than it was then. You know, it's still relevant. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's just, that's the issue. That's the problem. They don't change. So we got to change. We got to change them. You know, how do we do that? It's a longer interview. You know what I mean?
Right.
But that's what got to happen. They're not going to change. We got to change.
Word. Now there's a lot of great energy that comes out of this movie. I mean, you guys as stars is about to completely rise. I know you're doing Walking Dead, so if a new black guy shows up, I'm pretty sure they're about to kill off another one. It's just how that show works. But I can't wait to see what you guys do. I can't wait to see what you guys do moving forward. Cube, I know there's an NWA European tour coming up.
That's a rumor.
It's a rumor? It's not true?
Press tour coming up.
Okay.
Yeah.
But like, what is the possibility and likelihood of you, Ren, Dre, Yella getting into the studio and just cranking one out for the fans for old time's sake?
I'm always ready. So that's probably something you got to talk to Dr. Dre about, because he has to orchestrate that music to make it happen. He has to produce that record. So I'm always ready to go.
I imagine it's hard to make a beat when you like sitting on like $1 billion. Like, I would be so unmotivated.
It seems like it's easier for him now. You know, it seems like he's not worried about nothing but good product.
That's right.
You know what I mean? And you know, we needed Dr. Dre on this project. You know what I mean, to make sure that we didn't lose any other flavor that we was looking to absorb, you know, because everybody want to cut the cost. Sometimes you gotta keep the cost where it is, and Dre helped do that.
Well, yo, man, you guys should be extremely proud of yourselves, each and every last one of you guys. It's an amazing piece of work, straight out of Compton. I definitely think it's one for the ages, and it's arguably the best biographical movie about our culture that has been released since Crush Crew, which was mostly fictitious. You know what I'm saying? So, yo, man, continue success, man. I hope you guys do the numbers you're looking for, man.
Thank you.
My favorite movie.